Hello and welcome to the 12th chapter of mass communication. And we're doing good so far. I think you're learning as much as I'm enjoying my teaching. And today's chapter is called Radio Program Production. Now, what is radio program production? So, let me quickly go to one of the in-text question, which says, what are the key qualities or three qualities required to be a good producer for a radio program? So, think of it, what will you do as a career as a radio programmer? So, number one is the easiest one, the ability to observe, to see and hear what is happening around you. A radio program just looks people around. You can be a good traffic, you can give some input about traffic, what is happening in the city, go to Book My Show, things like that. Take example of Isaac Newton, who saw the apple falling and he suddenly found out gravity. So, how do you get ideas? My personal experience, I always say three things. Number one, reading. So, most of us don't read, but good books will give you ideas. Number two is traveling. Travel around the world. Our country has some amazing things from Assam to Gujarat to Kerala, and it is just awesome. And finally, experience. So, when you meet people, you hear the interviews, you discuss things with them, you see chat shows, you get ideas. So, reading, traveling, and experience are ways you are good observers. Then two more qualities, or rather three more qualities that we look into a radio programmer is creative thinking and critical thinking. So, I'm making it easy for you, not just trying to make it. So, creativity. So, anything, you create new ideas, you see a dragonfly and people thought of helicopters, that's creativity. And to conceptualize ideas is critical thinking. So, you can have a concept and turn into a radio script, which is very important. The key thing is, and of course, the ability to have good words, vocabulary. Sachin Tendulkar or Rohit Sharma are great players because they can hook, they can sweep, they can do a cover drive, all of it. Same way, you are able to express in different ways. You see a sunset and you don't say, oh, it's a beautiful, yellow color. You say, look at the golden bliss of a sunset. So remember, three qualities that you require are all these: creative thinking, critical thinking, observational ideas, and good vocabulary or good use of words. Remember, we already studied these three things. The radio format's ingredients are human voice, which RJ or anchor. Then it's the music and the sound effect. Now let's go inside the radio production element. So what do you see? The first thing you will see a good studio. And we also spoke about studio has to have a soundproof room where human voice can be best recorded. Like I'm sitting in my studio, look at this. It's a beautiful enclosed place. No one's around, so it's wonderful. Then you need microphones. You need speakers. Today we have inbuilt where you need your voice to be not have bass, not have noise. It should be clear. So there are three type of microphones we can talk about. One is where I speak and you hear just one way, one directional, which essentially can be called unidirectional microphone, right? So this is usually a news anchor who's speaking alone and he just needs a microphone. If you're doing a chat show or an interview, you need bidirectional microphone. Two people, bi is two. And finally, the easy one is omni. Omnidirectional is multiple people. So this is good in drama. This is good in a program which is done on a public place where there's a lot of noise and noise filters are required. So these are the three microphones. Three kinds of microphone. There are different sizes of microphone or types of microphone. The types already the uni, bi, and omni, but there is a lapel microphone. A lapel is where you usually put a microphone here. You can see it. Usually you do it for the interviews, for the guest, and that's one. Then you have gun microphone. So they put a microphone like this. And what do you mean by gun is usually in sports production or the voice, microphone cannot be seen. And then there are cordless microphone usually in quiz shows, Sarega Mappa, Indian Idol, where they just hold it and the anchor can speak on the microphone. Remember, three very, very clear and easy ideas of microphone. The third thing in a radio, so remember, first thing we said the studio, then the microphone, and now it's a sound effect. Very interesting. I love the idea of sound effect. If you've visited any of the film cities, especially the one in Hyderabad where Bahubali was shot, they'll explain how do you create sound. For example, for the horse hoof, they make coconut shell. So this is example you can write. So use two coconut shell for the hoof of the sound, or you are wrapping paper for thunder, crushing them as accident sound. They actually don't have accidents. So what happens is, this is an important question that is got. The sound effect as we speak is called spot effect. Okay, so when you speak and the sound is having a spot effect, and then there are others which are recorded sound effects. So remember, spot effect is a very quick question you usually get. Finally, the soul of a radio is the music. So what is the beauty of a music? Music adds, charm. It breaks the monotony. It gives desired effect. It can create scenes. For example, you can have a bright morning or a crowded radio station, or the idea of a waterfall, all through music. Then there's something else that I used, 3-4 things that quickly tell you, is artificial echo. So say, hello, 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 right? Echo. The voice sounds back. These are artificial echoes that are happening. This is a technical input. So artificial echo is an example of technical input. There is a small 2-mark question I'll give you. So that's an echo. Then there is a filter. What's a filter? A filter is something, or a distort is you don't want the voice to sound normal. So there's a thief which says, Mujhe 5 lakh de do. I'm so sorry, I'm so bad with it. But at least you heard it, you smiled, you said, what is this sir doing? It is called distorting the sound. You use filter. There's a quick question that the filter is also called distort. So remember to make it realistic echo. Somebody shouting from below in a radio. And it sounds like right now I'm close to you. But if I go far, hello, and then the voice is very far away, that's called a filter. And finally, the human voice, the most important and pleasant thing is RJ Malishka, Jitu Raj, all these radio jockeys, the anchors, is the human voice that is required, and that is what we're talking about. Quickly taking you to the in-text question. So what are the different type of microphones? Uni, bi, omni, and there's a lapel, right? There's a gun, and then there is the cordless one. Remember these three. What type of microphone? Lapel. Lapel microphone is a unidirectional microphone which is on the collar for one single use. What's the other name of filter? Remember I told you this. Distort. So distortion. Type of studio required to produce a radio program? Well, soundproof studio, as simple as that. What type of sound effects are as we created as we speak? Remember what I said? Spot effect. And one example, technical input. The echo is a technical input. Now, this is perhaps just quickly the last module of this particular chapter. Is radio program has 3 things. I remember teaching the same thing in TV also. It's pre-production, production, and post-production. Pre-production, as the name suggests, is before you make a program. Most important thing is the idea. After the idea, there's a plan, there's a script, there are the people who will work, there's a paperwork, where you're recording, what are the paperwork, the duration, what frequency. All of this is pre-production. Production is basically the poise of recording is, editing it, and all the microphones are required, computers required to edit it, people are required in production. Post-production is also where once you are done with it, you edit it, you make sure it's in right capsule, it's half an hour series, there's an ad break into it, and also publicity of it. There's no point on doing a program when you don't know who will listen to it. So this is very simple, and that's all. Writing for radio is very easy. It's like a script. Just that you have to remember that the writing script is all oral. So remember your script have to have the right, pronunciations, right intonation. Khansi aa rahi hai, you should say there is a cough there because people have to look at it. So very important. The characteristics of written word are very different. The script for a radio is different. Although it's written, it is spoken. So remember, it has to be spoken. It's written for the ears, not the eyes. I love this point. It's written for the ears, not the eyes. It's heard only once unless you record it. It's conversational. So words has to be simple. Don't use your TOEFL or GRE words. Sentence should be short so people can grasp it. Give only one idea at a time and not too many ideas. Speak about one thing and remember about the listeners, the audience. Remember there are thousands of listeners, so you should know who is listening to it. The words should, not be vague, not be vulgar, depending on the audience. Words should have metaphors, make pictures in the mind. Abbreviations or jargon should be avoided. Script is 2 big numbers, then you can round the numbers off. Don't say 99 rupees, 0.99, 99 paisa. Just say 100 rupees and it's easier for it. And refer to it as more than one person rather than singular. Too many points. Listen to it 2-3 times. These are the spoken word characteristics. It could be a 6 marks question. And that's all about this chapter. Good luck, and I hope you do well in your radio sessions.